familiarize pag medyo nauulit siya. So, the left field, nagre-reflect siya sa left eye mo, nasal part, and then your right eye, temporal part. And then, you can see the red fibers, papunta siya sa right part of the brain. So, left field, right part of the brain eventually. So, syempre, on the opposite, ganun din si right visual field. Ito naman si green representation, nasa left siya. Okay? Siya. So the right half of the visual field is projected on the left nasal half of the right retina and the left temporal half of the left retina, the green area, and then it will be conveyed to the left cerebral hemisphere. So that is your visual pathway. Okay, pagdating niya sa retinal field, the human retina develops from the optic cup, which is an outgrowth of the ediencephalon. So this retina is an extension of your central nervous system. So if you remembered our discussion this here, di ba, naalala nyo yung papilledema na case? This is the only part of the brain that you can visualize, part of the central nervous system that you can visualize without opening the brain up through an ophthalmoscope. So makikita mo na agad kung may swelling inside, intracranial pressure. Okay. I'm not, can you, so there's a mention here if I'm using a pointer. Wala kayo makita. Do I need to have a special pointer for this? You can see my cursor key, right? Here, I'm moving it, wala. You can't see it. Wait, I'll try. Is there a certain feature wherein I can... Yan. And then what, after the three dots, okay, parang wala. I can just see, wait ha. Let me see. Nawala yung sinishare ko. Sige, just bear with me. I would like to learn this one as well. Okay. Okay. So the three buttons here, it says next previews by title, screen, use presenter view. Should I use presenter view? If I use presenter view,
Doc, sorry po, yun po atang option for the pointer ay yun pong second na icon po from the left. Yung katabi po nung left na arrow.
Okay. Sige. Ulitin natin. Katabi ng left arrow.
Doc, pag naka-slideshow view po kayo.
Yes. Meron
Ayun po.
katabi ng left. Ayun. Okay. And then laser pointer. Sige. Okay, got it. Yan. Can you see?
Yes po, Doc.
All right. Thank you. Okay, sige, let's proceed. Okay, so this is the microscopic view of the retina of your eye. If you can see, these are receptor cells. Itong mga bluish ones, these are your rods, and these are your cones. Okay, so you can notice mas maraming rods over the cones. At nakadikit yan sa retina nyo. So that's part of the retina of the eye. Okay. So let's go deeper inside the eye. Dun sa retina of your eye, so that's the back of your eye, no? So this is your retina, the yellow thing. You can see here a fovea centralis. This is a depression within the macula lutea. So may macula lutea and then sa gitna niya, fovea centralis. So it's a specialized region in the retina adapted for high visual acuity. It contains the highest density of cones in the retina. So highest, ito yung yung focus of the eye sa fovea centralis ninyo. Okay? Dahil sa cones, since cones are responsible for high acuity vision. Okay? So, discuss natin yung photoreceptors ninyo. So, the photoreceptors in the eye, you have usually two photoreceptors. So, your rods and your cones. So, I showed this kanina dun sa microscopic view. Syempre, pag sinabi mong cones, it's cone shape. Okay? And when you say it's rod shape. Does anyone know anong mas madami? Is it the cone or the rod? Let me call on Venice. Anong mas madami, Venice? Cones or rods? Just by looking at this picture, you can already deduce what is mas marami sa retina mo.
Rods po,
Can you hear me po?
Yes, ano yun?
Ay, sorry po. Sige po.
Yeah, yes, it's the rods. Very good. Sige, that's okay with me. You can, of course, save your classmate. Yan. All right. So the rods are more. Like some books tells us it's 120 million rods in the retina, and then si cone 6 million lang. But if you remember, di ba? Pag specialized yung action niya, if you can see here, 1:1 yung cones. So one receptor, diretso siya papuntang ganglion cell. Pero pag madaming rods ang connected to one receptor. So it's more precise si cones. Okay? Si cone ang responsible for your color vision, so it has high visual acuity. Si rods, it mediates light perception, providing low visual acuity with good perception of contrast, and usually used in nocturnal vision. Okay, so another difference between the two is the rods are medyo mas slow siya. Mas slow siya, mas maraming connections ang kailangan. So if you notice, pag mayroon papasok kayo sa madilim na lugar, it will take time for your eye to adjust and adapt to that darkness. But eventually, parang may maaaninag na kayong light kahit na hindi naman nagkaroon ng light dun sa room. It's still dark, but your eyes adapted to that dark and hinanap niya yung kahit anumang area na may konting light. So, ifo-focus niya yon. So, those are your rods for night vision, and then cones is for your day vision, colored vision, high acuity vision. Okay. So, both the rods and cones will respond to light because they contain visual pigments capable of trapping photons of light. Okay, so they are receptors, therefore they are nerve cells. They are specialized neurons. So sa rods, the pigment is called rhodopsin. In cone, the pigment is called iodopsin or sometimes photopsin. It's actually the same protein. This rhodopsin and iodopsin are protein pigments in the rods and the cones. Pero iba lang pangalan nila kasi it's located in the rod and the other one is located in the cones. Okay, so again, look at the picture. You can see here that several rods will converge onto a single bipolar cell. Yan. Ito, this picture, 1, 2, 3, 4 rods into this bipolar cell. And then this bipolar cell will be connected to your ganglion cell. So, it will be influenced by your amacrine cells, interneurons. Okay, so medyo maraming connections papunta sa ganglion cells. And then these ganglion cells would converge going to your optic nerve. Whereas your cones, one individual cone here will connect singly directly through a bipolar cell. Then diretso sa ganglion cell. So mas direct siya. Mas mabilis kasi mabilis yung conduction ng receptors, mabilis siya makakarating sa brain. Mas mabilis siya magre-respond. Mas mabilis ka makakapag-focus. Okay? So the functional circuits that connects the rods and cones to the ganglion cells process the information about color and contrast of images that fall on the retina. Okay, so here's your pathway. First, the light energy entering the eye will trigger a photochemical reaction in the rods and cones. So when you say a photochemical reaction, magkakaroon ng action potential changes. Meron pa yang, this will probably be discussed in physiology. Meron pa diyang release of the glutamate, amino acid to inhibit. For example, you're stimulating the cones, inhibit niya yung rods. Okay, so meron siyang physicochemical properties na nagaganap. So this photochemical reaction in the rods and cones will be projected to the back of the retina. So ito yung may pagka-unique sa retina ninyo, no? So these are actually five layers of cells. So ang pagpasok ng light, doon muna siya sa pinakalikod. Sagad na dito sa likod. And then pabalik siya dito. Okay, so it will enter, the neural impulse will go directly to the rods and cones at the back of your retina. And then it will have a chemical reaction that will activate your bipolar cells here. And then the bipolar cells will then activate the ganglion cells here. And the axons of your ganglion cells will converge to form the optic nerve. So here you can see, this is the optic nerve. Then it will go to your visual cortex. Okay? So, if you notice, punta muna siya sa likod, parang nasa classroom tayo. Yung pinaka-lowest, fifth row, dun muna, pass the message, galing sa teacher yung message, pass the message, dadalhin ko muna sa back row, and then from the fifth row, sasabihin ni fifth row yung message sa fourth row, and then to the third row, to the second and the first, and then saka pa lang pupunta sa optic nerve, going to the brain. So that's how it's designed. Okay? So if you look at the human retina, this is through an ophthalmoscope. This is the optic nerve. You can see the optic disc. And then beside that, you can see the macula densa. And in the middle of the macula densa is your fovea. Okay, this is the highest acuity, point of highest vision. Can I ask, does any one of you know the blind spot in the eye? And where is it located? So if you have the highest precision part of the eye, merong blind spot din dito sa retina. Anyone? Or forgot nyo na?
Hello, Doc.
Yes?
So may optic disc po.
Yes, correct. Sorry, I can't. Who's this?
Si Venice po.
Venice. Yeah, come back ang Venice. Sige, Venice. Correct. It's in the optic disc, right? Kasi, so that's a blind spot, and then your fovea centralis is the one with the highest acuity. Okay. That's a very important thing to note. Okay. So after the retina, photoreceptors, your nerve will converge into your ganglion. The axons of your ganglion cells will form an optic nerve. And then this optic nerve, ito yung nakadikit sa human eye. So, para maalala mo, halimbawa, natanggal yung eyeball, yung nakakabit sa mata, if ever it's lumalawet, no? Sorry for the gross description, but that's the optic nerve. It's really connected to the eyeball. Okay, so this optic nerve is also connected to your brain. So the optic nerve will pass directly to the optic chiasm. When you say chiasm, that's where it crosses. So here you can see the optic nerve here, and then here it's where it's crossing. So itong optic nerve na to connected to sa eye. So after the optic nerve, you have the optic chiasma, and then this optic chiasma is located at the anterior part of the sella turcica of the sphenoid bone. It's immediately above the pituitary gland. So, this is the inferior view, no? So, this is the inferior view. Tinanggal yung pituitary gland dito para makita nyo yan. So, therefore, pag meron kang damage or tumor in your pituitary gland, pwede niyang maipit yung optic chiasma na yan. Okay, after it crosses in the optic chiasma, it will become an optic tract. Okay, and then it has a nerve connection, lateral geniculate body, papunta sa brain nyo. That will be shown in a different slide. Okay? So, you have your optic nerve, optic chiasma. Okay? So, we mentioned that already. And then you have your optic tract. So, ito yung connected sa eye. Optic tract is this portion that will lead to your optic radiation. Visible to sa brain specimen. Okay? So that is the part of your optic nerve. Okay? From the optic radiation, later on I will discuss paano na siya papasok sa brain. It has connection to the lateral geniculate bodies. Okay? And then to the visual cortex na of your brain. Alright, so let's go to the visual pathway again. So kanina ni-review na natin to. This is the left visual field going to the right part of the brain, the right visual cortex. And then this is the right field going to the left. So here, review natin, no? Sa retina, optic nerve, optic chiasm, and then optic tract. And then it will have connection with your lateral geniculate nucleus located in the thalamus. And then it will go to the, it has connection to your superior colliculus. Those are for the optic reflexes, no? And then from the, also your pretectal nucleus, that's for your optic reflexes. So that's where it's located. And then after the lateral geniculate nucleus, the nerve will then enter the visual cortex of your brain. So in your visual pathway, you have a partial decussation or crossing of fibers taking place in the optic chiasm. Kaya partial kasi ang nagde-decussate lang, if you notice, ito, yung nasal part of the vision, nasal part of the retina. Okay? Nagaling sa temporal part of your vision. So yun lang ang nagko-cross. Kaya partial. Hindi siya full. Kasi kung full, pareho tong red and green magko-cross. So partial decussation lang. And then fibers from the nasal halves of each retina. Yan. So ito yung nagko-cross. And then fibers from the temporal halves of the retina leave the optic chiasm without crossing. So ito siya. Nasa labas and then nasa labas. Okay? So optic fibers will continue without any interruption behind the optic chiasm. Here, itong dalawa, itong green, as two diverging optic tracts that go to the left and right lateral geniculate body, which is a small projection from the pulvinar of the thalamus. So it's located in your thalamus. And then the optic tract fibers will terminate in the lateral geniculate bodies here, and then it will have a connection to your superior colliculus and pretectal area. Okay. And then the neurons in the lateral geniculate bodies will give rise to fibers that will form the optic radiations. Ito yan, optic radiations na yan. Another term for optic radiation is geniculocalcarine tract. This will pass posteriorly through the retrolenticular part of your internal capsule and terminates in the visual cortex. That's your BA, Brodmann's area 17. So it occupies the upper and lower lip of the calcarine sulcus on the medial surface of your cerebral hemisphere. Okay, so that is your visual pathway. So the cuneus, if you look at the picture here, which is the gyrus above the calcarine sulcus. So ito yung calcarine sulcus. So if you notice, it's in the occipital part of your brain. So this is the cuneus. Okay, the gyrus above the calcarine sulcus receive visual impulses from the upper quadrants, same side of both retina. And then you have a lingual gyrus below the calcarine sulcus, etong sa ilalim, will receive naman impulses from the lower quadrants of the same side. So, hindi siya opposite ha. So, upper quadrant tong nasa taas, cuneus, and then lower quadrant si lingual gyrus. So, ang dividing point nila is the calcarine sulcus. Okay? So, again, the visual association areas is your Brodmann area 18 and 19. So, this is not a new slide to you. This is your 18 and 19, and the medial view 18 and 19. Okay? So this association cortex is responsible for recognition of objects and perception of color. Alright. So in review lang, no? Una, from the optic, from the eye, pupunta siya sa brain. Sa brain, you have three visual cortex. You have the primary, then you have the secondary, and then you have your visual association areas. So primary muna, pupunta siya sa secondary, and then pupunta siya sa visual association areas. Okay? So, usually yung primary visual cortex ninyo, nasa occipital lobe. And then, the secondary visual cortex is in the inferior temporal lobe. And then lastly, the visual association cortex in the parietal cortex naman. Okay? So that's how the information flows. And it's responsible for visual analysis. Okay? Meron dyan tinatawag na pagpasok niya dito, merong dorsal stream paakyat. Usually, ito yung location and motion. And then you have a ventral stream pababa for the color and shape. Okay? Alright, so let's proceed. Let's go to the visual pathway. Kung ano yung mga damage or mga lesions sa brain na nagkakos ng blindness. Okay, so this is a scotoma. When you say a scotoma, this is a blind spot or partial loss of vision in what is otherwise a perfectly normal visual field. No, hopefully wala sa atin nagkakaroon ng ganito, no? Ideally, we all have a scotoma, di ba? We have the blind spot in your optic disc. But it's not like this when you look kasi nako-compensate yung scotoma na yon ng other areas of your retina. Okay, but there will be cases or conditions. This has something to do with neuro-ophthalmology, wherein a person will have blind spots talaga na visible, na noticeable. Actually, blind spot, hindi visible. Noticeable blind spot. Okay? So, maraming klaseng scotoma. You have central scotoma, ring scotoma, suppression scotoma, junctional scotoma, but that's not part of our objective. So, we will not confuse you with that. So, we'll just proceed with the ones that are in your objectives kasi yun naman ang i-exam sa inyo. So, alright. So, it might look like a dark, fuzzy, or blurry spot, or it might look like a single spot or flickering light or arcs of light. Yan, possible yan sa normal person. Nagkakaroon tayo ng parang floaters sa eye natin. So, this could also be temporary, pagpuyat, pagod. So, hopefully, when you rest, i-improve naman din siya after some time. Alright? So, okay, so a scotoma, meron din tinatawag na scintillating scotomas. So these are blind spots that flicker and waver between the light and the dark. So here you can see here on the side, may ang tawag dyan, scintillating scotoma. Okay, so they are typically not permanent, so temporary lang. So, but then if you have this, it could be an indication of an underlying health condition. Usually, mga neuropathies, nerve damage na temporary lang, related to diabetes, pwede din yun. Okay? So, let's go to the visual pathway ninyo. Visual field defect ang tawag dito. So, remember, the picture kanina, you have your, this is what you can see in the environment. Okay? So, sa harapan nyo, yung nasa picture niyo nasa harapan ninyo, yung nakikita ng kaliwang mata ninyo at saka kanang mata ninyo, both eye has a temporal and nasal view. Sa right eye meron ding right eye field of vision meron ding nasal and temporal. Okay? When you say a transient monocular blindness, this is lesion number 1. So here we have a transient right eye blindness. Here is where the lesion is. So this is also called amaurosis fugax, where there is an abrupt loss of vision in one of your eyes due to a temporary lack of blood supply to your retina. Okay, so the retina is your light-sensitive area in your eye. So if there is a lesion in this optic nerve, ito yung nerve na nakadikit sa eyeball mo, nandito sa right side, then you will have blindness, total blindness of the right eye. If dito naman sa kabila, sa left side, total blindness of your left eye field of vision. But, this kind of blindness, you can still see things, di ba? Takpan nyo yung kaliwang mata nyo, nakikita pa rin naman kayo eh. Takpan mo yung kanan, nakakakita ka pa rin eh. So, this is hindi naman masyadong difficult condition. But that, of course, explains there's something wrong with their brain. Okay? So, again, the cause is an ocular abnormality or pre-chiasmatic neurologic ones. Pre-chiasmatic, chiasma, optic chiasm, before the optic chiasm, nandyan ang lesion. Okay? So it could be there's a retinal detachment dito sa back ng eyeball ninyo, or the blood supply, the occlusion of your retinal artery or vein occurs, or a viral infection causing optic neuritis. Yan ang mga possible causes of a monocular blindness. Okay? So again, it's just saying prechiasm, the lesion is anterior or in front the optic chiasm. Okay, let's go to another field defect. You have a bilateral homonymous defect. So the lesion in this case is number 2. It's in the optic chiasm. It's compressing the decussating fiber. So tatandaan niyo ano ba yung nagde-decussate na fiber? So, dito sa left field vision mo, ang nagde-decussate na fiber, yung nasa temporal side, di ba? Temporal, red, papunta siya dito sa nasal part of your left eye. Pupunta siya ngayon sa optic nerve. It will cross the optic chiasm, papunta siya sa right side. And then sa right eye mo naman, ang pumupunta sa optic chiasm is the one that's nasa temporal din ng right eye mo, the blue one. It will cross the optic chiasm papunta sa kabila. So, ang naapektuhan is this blue nasal sa kanan and red nasal sa kaliwa, which is corresponding to the temporal area of your field of vision. So, therefore, ang nabubulag, yung temporal sides. Look at number 2. So, ito lang ang vision mo. Nasal lang ang nakikita mo kasi yung temporal natatakpan. So, this is bilateral homonymous defect, bilateral homonymous hemianopia caused by an optic chiasm lesion. And since nakapatong ang optic chiasm ninyo sa pituitary gland ninyo, if you have a pituitary tumor, you can have impeded blood supply or impeded nerve conduction in your optic chiasm. Okay? So, that is your bilateral homonymous defect. Let's go to number 3. Bilateral homonymous defect pwedeng bilateral temporal. Okay? Number 2. Pwede rin siyang bilateral nasal defect. Okay? So, binasal hemianopia naman siya. So, this is a type of blindness where vision is missing in the inner half of the right and left visual field, usually caused by congenital hydrocephalus. Okay? So, this happens in babies. So, if you go back, ang damage dito would be itong nasal part. So, nandito ang damage sa labas, ha? Hindi sa number 2. If it's a bilateral, homonymous, binasal, hindi siya sa optic chiasm. Ang nasa optic chiasm is bilateral temporal vision loss. Okay? So, let's go with your left homonymous hemianopia. So, this is number 3 lesion. Left homonymous hemianopia, yung left temporal and right nasal. Okay? So, if you can see here, the lesion to the optic tract en route toward the lateral geniculate body. So, this is lesion in number 3. So, if you can see in this picture, if it's here on the right side, yung left nasal mo, and then the right temporal mo, yun yung affected, the red fibers, which is corresponding to the nasal and temporal area. So, itong nasa parehong kaliwa. Kaliwa ng kaliwang mata, kaliwang vision ng kanang mata. Okay? So, there could be also be lesions that are occurring in the radiating fibers. It will also leave the lateral geniculate body. So, ganun din ang itsura niya. So, usually, this is caused by strokes or neoplasm. So, mga patient na hypertensive, part talaga ng exam nila is neurologic exam. It will help localize kung ano pa yung may affected part ng brain nila na na-damage. Okay? You also have a left lower homonymous quadrantanopia. So, this is caused by lesion. I can't see here. So, this is caused by the lesion in alright. The lesion in your left eye in the sky. Itong 4. Okay, lesion number 4, if you can see, it's here in the optic tracts, in the optic radiating fibers, what you call the Meyer's loop. Okay, so this is a temporal portion of your brain. So if there's a stroke in the middle cerebral artery, it can damage this area of your brain, causing a upper left quadrant blindness in both eyes. Okay. All right, so this is just a summary of the lesions that can be of the visual field defects. So you have your monocular blindness, you have your bitemporal hemianopia, you have your ipsilateral right nasal hemianopia. You can see in the lesions where it's located. And then you have your left homonymous hemianopia, inferior quadrantanopia, left superior quadrantanopia. And then you have your left homonymous. 7 and 4 are the same. Okay, lesion 7 and 4 is the same, usually caused by stroke. Okay, and then you have the number 8, left homonymous hemianopsia with macular sparing. Okay, so those are your visual field defects. Nandito yung mga causes. Okay. If you remember, nabanggit ko kanina, di ba? Yung cuneus nyo, responsible for the superior quadrant, and then the lingual gyrus, the inferior view. Okay. So that's for your visual field. Let's discuss the optic reflexes. So these are things that you do with your eye when you do an eye examination. Okay. So let's go with the superior colliculus in your eye. So this is your superior. I do believe ni-lecture na sa inyo to ni Dr. Estrada when he was discussing the parts of the brain. So colliculus is the Latin for upper heel. So you have your superior colliculi in this portion of your brain. This is lying on the roof of the mammalian midbrain. It's a paired structure in the rostral midbrain involved in incorporating environmental stimuli, coordinating gaze shifts involving both eye and head movement. So it has something to do with your eye reflexes. Okay. On a side view, the superior colliculus is a midbrain structure involved in visual attention processing. So this is your eye. This is your superior colliculus. Okay. Ito, visual cortex, ha? Ito yung kanina. Yung may primary, secondary, and visual association. Okay, now let's go to the reflexes in your eye. Okay, so you have a pretectal nucleus. Ito siya. From the optic chiasm, papunta sa geniculate body, you have this pretectal and you have your Edinger-Westphal nucleus. So these are the nucleus that are responsible for the reflexes in your eye. So this pretectal nucleus, dito muna tayo sa pretectal nucleus. Okay, this is a part of your subcortical visual shell. Meron siyang 7 nuclei in the visual midbrain. So ito yung mga yon: posterior limitans, olivarictectal pretectal, anterior pretectal, posterior pretectal, medial pretectal, commissural pretectal nucleus. So 7 nucleus in the visual part of your midbrain. They all connect substantially with the intergeniculate leaflet and with each other. So connected yan. Okay, so this is the part of your eye. It connects here first before it has another optic radiation to your brain. Okay. All right. So, can you hear me? Hindi ba ako nadi-disconnect? All right, sige. Let's proceed. Okay, so pretectum. So remember nyo lang, basta pretectal, Edinger-Westphal, something to do with the optic reflexes of the eye, okay? So pretectum bilateral, meron sa left, meron sa right. They are highly interconnected nuclei located near the junction of the midbrain and the forebrain. So ito yung, di ba yung eye nyo kanina, no? Ito yung ciliary ganglion sa left eye, and then you have your optic tract. Okay, this is your optic tract. Meron din dito sa kabila yan. Optic tract. May chiasm. Ito yung optic chiasm. Nagko-cross. Okay? So, from the optic tract, papunta siya sa lateral geniculate nucleus. Dito, yung pretectal olivary, Edinger-Westphal, and then connected sa superior colliculus. Diyan, magkakadikit sila. Okay? So, it controls the pupillary light reflex by the olivary pretectal. The control of the pupillary light reflex is your olivary pretectal nucleus. So this reflex is mediated by intrinsically photoreceptive ganglion cells in your retina and your classical rod and cone photoreceptors. So ano ba tong pupillary light reflex na to na fina-facilitate ng inyong pretectal nucleus? Okay? I-discuss ko later yun. Tapusin ko lang muna yung mga nucleus sa eye mo. So remember the pupillary light reflex, ha? Babalikan natin yan. This is your pupillary light reflex pathway. Mas maintindihan natin yan mamaya. You have your Edinger-Westphal nucleus containing group of parasympathetic preganglionic cells that innervates your ciliary muscle or your pupillary constrictor. So, si Edinger-Westphal, ito, connected, ito sa green. You have your parasympathetic fibers of cranial nerve 3 going to the eye. So, cranial nerve 3 is your oculomotor nerve. Okay, and then it innervates your ciliary ganglion. Okay, so that is your Edinger-Westphal, color green. Okay, and then the one that's connected to your pretectal nucleus is the blue arrow. And then you also have this yellow naman, ito yung diniscuss natin kanina, the visual pathway. Okay? Yung yellow at saka yung orange. Okay, si green ang responsible sa pupillary light reflex connected with your pretectal nucleus and then Edinger-Westphal nucleus. You have here your accommodation pathway, the blue arrows, and then the light reflex and direct consensual, itong red arrow. Okay? Alright, sige. Let's go with the direct and consensual light reflex. So, direct and consensual light reflex, itong red arrow from pretectal to Edinger-Westphal. Okay? So, if a light is shown into one eye, yung, biruin mo, di ba pag nag-physical exam ka, you can do this to a sister or brother. Mag-shine ka ng pen light sa mata, magko-constrict. Kasi, paliliitin niya yung opening ng eye para malimit yung pasok ng light. Okay? So, if you're showing a light into one eye, kahit sa right eye mo lang siya nilagay yung light, pati yung kaliwang mata mo magko-constrict. So, that is your direct and consensual light reflex. So, kahit nasabihin mo, hindi mo naman ni-stimulate yung kaliwang part ng mata mo, magre-react din siya. So, anong gagawin ng right eye mo, gagawin din ng left eye mo. Okay? So, if a light is shown into one eye, the pupils of both eyes will be the one that will constrict, not just the eye that is being stimulated. Okay? So, the constriction of the pupil on which the light is shown is called direct light reflex. So, dun sa picture nyo, kung ano yung tinapatan mo ng ilaw, that's direct reflex. The constriction on the opposite pupil, even though there's no light on that area, that's consensual light reflex. Okay? So, maganda to pagka we're face-to-face, pwede natin gawin sa bawat isa. And then, you can see na, so kung saan mo tinapat yung light, that's direct light reflex. Kung sa kabila, that's just consensual light reflex. Okay? So, this is how it goes, no? So, there's an afferent impulse traveling through the optic nerve, optic chiasm, and then optic tract. Okay? Now, you can see that there's a small number of fibers leaving the optic tract. Here, the pink one. Okay? And will synapse on the nerve cells in the pretectal nucleus. Here. Okay? Which is just superior rostral to your superior colliculus. The impulse will then be passed by axons of the pretectal nerve cells to the parasympathetic nuclei Edinger-Westphal nucleus. Okay, di ba? Sabi ko ito yung red arrow, yung from your pretectal to your Edinger-Westphal. Then from the Edinger-Westphal of the nucleus, babalik siya sa mata, papunta sa oculomotor nerve para mag-constrict. Okay, so that's the pathway of direct reflex. So ito yung light, that's the pathway. Si consensual, ang pathway naman niya, from the optic tract, here, since ma-stimulate din niya yung Edinger-Westphal nucleus on that side, magko-contract din yung oculomotor muscle mo dun sa consensual eye. Okay? So, the parasympathetic nerves will travel to the ciliary ganglion of the orbit, and then it will pass through the short ciliary nerves of the eyeball and the constrictor pupillae muscle of the iris. In both sides, kasi green yung na-stimulate. Okay? So, he can see the pathway dito sa kaliwa and that's sa kanan. Kasi nga, merong nerve na nagko-cross, kaya pati yung sa kanan na eye, nagko-constrict din siya. Okay? So, as I mentioned, both pupil will constrict because of the pretectal nucleus sending fibers to the parasympathetic nuclei on both sides of the midbrain. Okay? The fibers that cross to the median plane do so close to the cerebral aqueduct in the posterior commissure. So it's just describing to you the location of the pretectal planes, pretectal nucleus. Now let's go to another reflex. You have your accommodation. When the eyes are directed from a distant to a near object, so from malayo, papalapit, okay? So yung malayo, tapos parang dudulingin mo yung sarili mo, papalapit yung object, magkakaroon ng contraction of the medial recti, bringing about convergence of your ocular axis. So the lens will thicken and increase its refractive power by contraction of the ciliary muscle. And then the pupils will also constrict to restrict the light waves to the thickest part of the lens. So here you can see bilateral myotic and irregular pupils. And here, if you have a light, you have your this is a accommodation reflex. Your pupils will react briskly to accommodation. So pag may pinapalapit ka na light, magre-react yung pupils mo, magko-constrict siya. Okay? So here, mas malaki to. So pag nag-shine ka ng, pinakita niya lang yung kanina, nag-shine ka ng light dito, dapat ito magko-constrict din. So it's a very, very minimal effect. Pero here kita mo parehong nag-constrict. Both sides. Okay. So for the accommodation reflex, there's afferent impulse traveling through your optic nerve, optic chiasm, and then optic tract, lateral geniculate body, optic radiation to your visual cortex. So the visual cortex is connected to the eye field of the frontal cortex. Then you have your cortical fibers descending through your internal capsule to the oculomotor nuclei in the midbrain. So pag oculomotor nerve na-stimulate, i-contract niya yung medial recti muscle to accommodate. Okay? To accommodate the object that is papalapit sa mata mo. Okay? That's your accommodation reflex. Okay? Some of the descending cortical fibers will synapse in the parasympathetic nuclei of your Edinger-Westphal nucleus. So remember yung pretectal and Edinger-Westphal, those are the ones responsible for the optic reflexes in your eye. Okay? So the parasympathetic fibers will travel through also the oculomotor nerve to the ciliary ganglion, and then postganglionic parasympathetic fiber will pass through the short ciliary muscle, causing constriction of the papilla, constriction of your constrictor pupillae muscle of the iris. Okay? So here nakita mo dito yung medial rectus muscle mo na stimulate nitong blue fiber, blue arrow. Okay, and then you also have your constriction of your iris. Another reflex, so you already have your direct and consensual reflex, pupillary light reflex, you have your accommodation, and this is your corneal reflex. So this is the light touching of your cornea or conjunctiva will result in blinking of the eyelid. So that's just it. So this is actually a protective reflex, no? So di ba minsan, I'm not sure if you played that game when you were young, no? Yung biglang gugulatin mo lang isang tao, parang kunyari tatahawakan mo yung mata, mapapapikit siya. Mapapasara yung mata niya. So that is a corneal reflex. So it's, automatic yan. Protection ng eye niya yan. Hindi mo yan kayang kontrolin, hindi ka magbiblink. Okay? Unless sobra talagang willpower, no? Na parang kahit ano na yung malapit sa mata, hindi siya magsasara. So that is a reflex that you also need to check. Okay, so this is the pathway for this reflex is initiated by the afferent impulses from the cornea or conjunctiva. So afferent impulse, ito yun, light touching. Okay, this impulses will travel through the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve. So this is the eye, tatouch mo siya, that is the ophthalmic branch of your trigeminal nerve. And then it will go to the main sensory nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, ito, sensory ganglion. And then it will go to the internuncial neurons connected with the motor nucleus of the facial nerve of both sides. Ito, main motor nucleus of your facial nerve. Okay? Main sensory nucleus of the trigeminal, then to the facial nerve. And then from the facial nerve, motor ang facial nerve mo, di ba? It will go back to the muscle. So as it supplies your orbicularis oculi, magko-close siya. Okay, so that's the reflex. Dadaan muna sa trigeminal, ophthalmic branch of trigeminal. It will be processed here in the medial longitudinal fasciculus. And then motor response is through the facial nerve. Okay, so that's your corneal reflex. Right? So you have another reflex called your visual body reflex. So this is automatic scanning movements of the eye and head that are made when reading. So yung mga fast readers dyan, ano? So this automatic movement of the eyes, head, and neck toward the source of the visual stimulus, and then There's also protective closing of the eyes and even raising of the arm for protection. These are reflex actions that involve following reflex arms. Okay, so mabilis ang mata nyo, no? So if you need to do a scan, mabilis lang yan. Movement left to right. Now, you also have what you call visual body reflexes na poprotect na yung eye mo. Kanina, corneal reflex, pinoprotect mo yung eye mo through your closing of the eye. Now here, may ibang parte na ng katawan na involved. It's either closing of the eyes or minsan yung arm mo, reflex. Aalisin mo yung papunta sa mata mo. Parang hahawiin mo siya. Okay? So the visual impulses will follow the optic nerves, optic chiasm, optic tract to the superior colliculi, and then the impulse will be relayed to your tectospinal and tectobulbar tracts. So these are one of your descending pathways in your brain. No? So this is a lecture in the future as well. I-discuss pa natin to kasi you also have a lecture on the ascending and the descending pathways. Okay, so this is how it goes, no? Tectospinal tract from the superior colliculi, dorsal tegmental decussation, and then your cervical spinal motor neuron of the anterior horn. So it will control the head and the eye movement, allow turning of the head in response to a visual or auditory stimuli. So pag may narinig sa kaliwa, titingin ka sa kaliwa. Pag narinig sa kanan, tingin ka sa kanan. That's the response of your head. So you have another one, the pupillary skin reflex. So the pupils will dilate if the skin is painfully stimulated by pinching. Okay? So it's a reflex. So hindi mo yan makukontrol. So you have afferent sensory fibers which are believed to have connections to the efferent preganglionic sympathetic neurons in the lateral grain horns of the first and second thoracic segment of the spinal cord. So pag kinurot ka, magko-constrict. Pag may pain, magko-constrict yung mata mo. So that is your pupillary skin reflex. Okay, so it has something to do with the white rami communicantes of these segments passing to the sympathetic trunk and the preganglionic fibers ascending to the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. Okay, so the postganglionic fibers, so you can see it here. Postganglionic fibers will then pass through the internal carotid plexus here, and then the long ciliary nerves to the dilator pupillae constrictor of the muscle. Yan. Long ciliary nerves. Ito yung carotid plexus, long ciliary nerve, then papunta na sa pupils of the eye. Okay, co-constrict na yung eye mo. We have the last condition of the pupil, which is called Argyll-Robertson pupil. This is bilateral meiosis. So the pupils are irregular. Maraming possible lesions, but mainly in the pretectal area. So light reflex is absent, yung consensual light reflex or direct light reflex kasi meiotic na yung eye mo eh. So hindi na siya liliit kasi maliit na siya. So kahit laging maliit yung mata mo, laging maliit yung pupils mo. Okay, so even if you try mo siyang i-dilate with mydriatic, an eye drop that causes pupillary dilation, hindi siya masyadong magdadilate. Ito kasing mydriatics na to, ginagamit ng mga ofta sa mga patient na kailangan tingnan yung pupil. So, halimbawa, nag-duty na kayo sa ward, refer patient to ofta kasi stroke. Pupunta yung ofta ninyo, ofta intern, papatakan yung mata ng patient ng mydriasis, then wait for an hour or two before pumunta yung consultant or yung resident para i-check yung mata. Hoping na magdadilate na yung pupils. Kahit na without, it's a medication para mag-open yung eye niya. Para mas makita yung retina. So, this is most commonly seen in an infection called neurosyphilis. Okay, other causes will be diabetes, Wernicke's encephalopathy, and midbrain tumors. So this is in summary, your pupillary light reaction. This is your normal pupil size. When you say meiosis, that's pupil constriction. When you say mydriasis, that's pupil dilation. And you have your Horner syndrome, yung isa, ptosis and meiosis, and then anhidrosis. Ibig sabihin, nagda-dry. Tas meiotic yung eye. Then you have a unilateral dilated pupil. This is a reactive anesicoria. Pwedeng normal siya. Pwede ring glaucoma. Pwede ring cranial nerve 3 paralysis caused by aneurysm. Pwede ring brainstem herniation. Then you have your accommodation, wherein the pupil will constrict with focus of near objects. And yung accommodation response is actually pag mas matanda na, mas lesser. And then you have your consensual light reflex. If you put a light in one eye, magko-constrict to, pati yung kabila, magko-constrict din. Okay? So, with evolution in your cranial nerve 2, optic nerve, direct loss of consensual, direct light reflex is nawawala, pero yung consensual present. Pero pag cranial nerve 3, both will be absent. So, with this pupillary reaction, malalaman mo kung may clues ka na kung saan ka titingin. So, pag nakita mo yung CT scan ng patient mo, alam mo na kung saan ka hahanap ng lesion. Okay? I think that's the end. Do you have any questions?